UvaldeRadio.net. Good evening. It's Robert Miguel. We're checking in with you live at Broadway 830 at 100 East Main Street in downtown Uvalde. We call it Friday Night Live, and it features the rising stars of Texas music every Friday night. Although I say that, but we're going to take a break here in mid-December. We'll take a break till about early spring because it gets kind of cold and nippy out here on the patio. But right now, we're still raring, ready to go here. And we got a treat. We call it Texas country, but you know what? It's made all over the world, including our friends just a little north of us. From Oklahoma, we've got the young and talented Mr. Ty Smith. How you doing, sir?
Good. How's it going?
It's good to have you here, man.
It's good to be here, man.
So this is our first encounter, our first time meeting.
Yeah.
We got one of your songs on air right now called Woderland, and if I'm not mistaken, this is now your second release to Texas radio?
Yes, sir.
So before we get into the music specifically, let's go ahead and talk about. Well, first of all, let's talk about the trip. You're from Tulsa, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
So did you come down here from Tulsa today, or were you already in Texas, or what was your itinerary so far?
So we've only been in Oklahoma for maybe 4 days the last 4 weeks.
Wow, staying busy.
We've been in Texas and Missouri. We've been all over the map, but we came down yesterday and we drove down and stayed the night and woke up this morning, did a little show, and we came out here.
So where were you last night?
We drove into Belton.
And how was that?
It's a great show.
Great
place.
How many places in Texas would you say you've already played? How many different cities?
Man, I want to say I've played them all, but there's no way to get to all of them, man.
Right.
Texas is so... People don't understand how big it is until you drive.
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably drive for, quite a while.
Oh, no. It's crazy.
Breaking into another state.
And especially if you're down here and you're just driving up north just to kind of get to the real world.
Yeah.
It just seems... And it's beautiful. It's crazy. And and we talk about this with a lot of artists. It's kind of a recurring theme. The great thing about Texas is, we kind of have our own standalone scene.
Absolutely.
And you can literally tour Texas, and it feels like you're touring the nation because it's all these places are just a little different. I mean, they're all kind of the same, but they're all vastly different in their own kind of unique ways,
On our
right?
way here today, we're amazed because I was looking down and he goes, "Man, look at those mountains."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm like, "What? No way."
Did you guys come through the hills on the north end on Concan and Lakey, that area?
Yeah, there are mountains everywhere. We're like, man, what the heck's going on? We're in Texas.
That's a Texas hill country, man. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And we're like, man, this is cool.
It's breathtaking and cool, and can be a little scary. And were you guys driving through any rain at all, or was it cool?
A little bit misty yesterday, but nothing bad.
Well, when you're driving that area in the rain, it can get a little nutty. But I'm glad you guys made it safe here. So, give me a ballpark figure. How many markets would you say? And excuse that we're out here on the beautiful patio. It's actually great patio weather out here, right? How about that brutal summer, right? It's terrible. But we're exposed to the main intersection here in Uvalde, Crossroads of America, Highway 90 and Highway 183, two of the largest highways in the great nation, right here in this corner.
Really?
We call it the Crossroads of America, so kind of cool. But so what's been your experience, I guess, as far as getting out to whether it's clubs or doing radio promotion, just getting in Texas as an Oklahoma boy? What's that been like?
We feel more at home here than almost anywhere else.
Okay, good.
It's weird to say that we get more support out here in Texas than we do in our hometown.
Mm-hmm.
But everyone here treats us like family, and that's what we love about coming down here and playing shows. I mean, all the musicians, all the fans, all the people, they're so loyal and kind, and it's made it a lot easier being away from home.
Well, and you say, you feel like you're treated better here, but there's an infrastructure that's available for Texas country artists and regional artists, I should say. Because whether it's you guys in Oklahoma or Arizona, New Mexico, there's a lot of people doing this kind. And then our friends up in Colorado, that are really embracing the Texas country red dirt sound. Do you like the term Texas country? Do you prefer red dirt? What as far as somebody who's technically from outside of Texas, where do you lie on that kind of genre? I guess the label, if you had to put one on there.
I have the same words about the BJ Barnum does. I like to say that people can call my music whatever they want to because if they like it and they keep listening to it, I don't care what it is.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
That's what matters to me. I don't think there's really a way to specify music anymore because it's such a big variety.
Mm-hmm.
Texas country. I think that everything has its own place, but the music we play is such a big window. So you can't put one label on it. I mean, red dirt Texas country is probably where I'd fit myself into.
Well, we're going to talk about your sound, but first we've got to address this. You're a young guy.
Yeah,
I mean, you sound like on the radio, you probably sound like a full-grown man. But you're when I say young man, I don't mean like a young adult. You're like still a teenager, right?
Yeah, 15.
15 years old,
yes,
man.
Sir.
So you're like you said, you're traveling all over the region. You know, you got your dad over here, which is great. But this is a very adult lifestyle that you're embarking upon and a part of, right? So, as far as personal life, homeschooling, are you what's the situation there as far as what normal 15-year-olds are, going to school, coming back home, and, we're lucky if we can get them off their phone or in front of Netflix,
Yeah. So my daily life revolves around doing virtual school right now.
Okay.
I mean, that's the only way I can tour around the country doing what I love. We sat down about a year ago, right before we put out our first single, and really had a conversation about, hey, I mean, you have the talent, but do you want to do this full time? Mm-hmm. And if you do, the only way you can do it is virtual school. And so, I mean, a lot of people don't understand that I had to give up going to all the high school football games and going to school and meeting people and making new friends. I've given everything up just so I could come out here and play music for people that like it.
Now, I'm sure you have your dad here. I'm sure you have like adults, business people in your corner, and lots of discussions about your career. I'm sure you take it very seriously. Now, when you're starting out, when you're getting out there at 15, you have to. That's part of the story. So mm-hmm. It's like you're a high school kid. You're a 15-year-old out there hustling, doing music. And LeAnn Rimes comes to mind. Taylor Swift. You know what I mean? So I mean, is that the plan by design? Is to be that young guy that's doing that thing, or I guess what I'm asking is, at what point do you have that meeting, and what makes you decide, okay, well, I can't wait 2 or 3 years to graduate high school regularly. I've got to hit the road now and make a name for myself now. Because I think it's safe to say that when you were kind of a teen, and if you peak too soon, you run the risk of being old news at a young age. Is that a discussion you guys have had?
Yeah, I've. Even 30-year-old singer-songwriters are having that problem too.
Right.
I bring him up a lot because he's a friend of mine. I'm in love with everything he's ever done music-wise. But B.J. Barnes says in one of his songs, if you get to the top, I want to get there steady and slow instead of getting there too fast with nowhere to go. Because once you get to that level, you can only go... You only go so high before you have to come back down.
So you're expecting a steady climb.
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't want to play a stadium tour next year. I don't want to play the Grand Ole Opry next month. Obviously, I love to, but
of course,
I don't want to be that guy that says, "Hey, I'm already have millions of followers," because then I think it'll go away as quick as it came.
Sure.
And if I play out here and I play for 10 to 20 and then the 20 to 40, I can build it slower. It creates a more loyal fan base. Because it builds a connection with the people that actually come to the shows.
Well, it seems like you got a good head on your shoulder about the whole thing. Yeah. It's got to be really exciting for a young man your age. I'm sure your friends are jealous or excited for you in their certain ways, right? What's it like for the local kids you grew up with? How are they like? Really, you're going to go on tour? You're going to go on the road, huh?
Man, it's cool. I try to surround myself with musicians and stuff, which there's not a lot of people my age that are musicians, right. So I do try to do that. But all the people that do are amazed. I just have a lot of adult friends.
Yeah.
And they're all just as excited as the kindergarten at the elementary school. So.
Well, you got a great sound. You got a very mature voice. You got great recordings. So let's go and get one on now. Again, we're talking to Ty Smith. He made the trip all the way down to Uvalde from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I think it's safe to say your first visit to Uvalde. So we appreciate that. We don't take this lightly at all. It's hard to get some artists from Austin to come down to Uvalde. So you all the way from Oklahoma. Much love, man. We appreciate you guys.
We appreciate you.
Gas ain't cheap. A little cheaper this week than past weeks.
It has been.
But but again, we don't take it for granted. So thank you guys so much for taking the time to come out here and see our audience and make a connection with us too. Again, Ty Smith here tonight at Broadway 830 for Friday Night Live, 7 to 10, performing on the patio. Come on out for delicious artisan pizza. They got beer, they got drink specials, great service, and we're going to play Ty's current single right now, and then we got another song we're going to play. You're going to give us some backstory on both of these, but we'll talk a little bit more. But just so you guys kind of get a voice, name, face, I guess, thing. This is Ty Smith, Wonderland, and this is UvaldeRadio.net on Friday Night Live.
Was a girl who loved her mama. She was 8 years old. Mama traded Daddy and gave another man her soul. Daddy didn't care that much at first, so it seemed. But you know who Daddy's thinking about when he fell asleep. He says, hey, no way. I want you back, darling, but I still feel the pain. He says, hey, no way. I want you back, darling, but you don't feel the same. She set off at midnight, trying to find this man who's made her daddy's life a miserable wonderland. He's got bad tattoos, he's got a sorry attitude, and he's easy to find even in the darkest of rooms. He says, hey, no way. I want you back, darling, but I still feel the pain. He says, hey, no way. I want you back, darling, but you don't feel the same. Her mama, she was 8 years old. Now she's sitting in a prison waiting for them to take her soul.
UvaldeRadio.net, Friday Night Live. That is Ty Smith with Wonderland, and we got Ty Smith here in Uvalde. One more time. Make some noise, Ty.
Thank
All right,
you,
brother.
thank
you so much for coming on down here and being a part of Friday Night Live. We do it every Friday night. I don't have the schedule in front of me, but if I'm not mistaken, I think we've got Jeff Jacobs next week. He's out of San Antonio. No, I take that back. We've got Lindsey Buchanan coming down from Abilene next week. And then a week after that, we've got Jeff Jacobs from San Antonio. So tonight we do have Ty Smith making his Uvalde debut. You see, you got some friends here in Uvalde, huh?
Yeah. A buddy of mine named Callan Rutherford. He plays he plays lead guitar for Mike and the Moon Pies.
Yeah. Everybody loves those guys down around here.
Absolutely.
So fantastic. So we just played your song, Wonderland. Before we get into the details of the song, real quickly, I mean, you're 15 years old, so there's not a whole lot of bio behind you yet.
No.
Let's go ahead and just talk about, what got you inspired to do music, man. Well, give us a story there.
Well, I grew up, my grandparents owned a pool hall, and they used to bring live music in every weekend, and I'd go up there every weekend and just
you're like
sit
a
there
bar
and
brat,
listen.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean, I'd go up there and listen, and they had some. This was 10 years ago. Some of those guys, like Mike and the Moon Pies, we'd bring them in every other month, and just building great connections with even better bands. I mean, we used to bring Zane Williams in back then. I mean, it was such a cool environment to expose myself to.
Yeah.
And I mean, I owe it all to my parents because, I mean, if they hadn't let me go out there and experience that every night, I don't think I'd be in love with music the way I am.
Is there a specific memory, a band that you saw maybe on the regular or just blew you away one day where you're like, that's where it clicked in your little tiny, young kid head?
Right.
I want to do that. What band was that, if there is one?
Well, the first one I remember was definitely Cole Porter Band, who later changed into Porter Union. But they're no longer doing music. They settled down, had a family. But amazing people, amazing musicians.
And what was it that you latched onto that you remember?
Just the way, I'm not sure, man. It's just the way the music. At such a young age, I don't remember much about it. I just remember
it's just big, and
I just remember that's what I like.
You. Yeah, cool.
I remember, I'd hear songs and be like, I like this song, or I don't like this song. But that was one of the first bands I ever heard that I'm like, I like this song, every song that they played. And I just, growing up on the way to school, we listened to them, and it's just something we always did.
How about like mainstream, whether it's Nashville country or recorded music? Was there any of that influence there, or was it mostly just the bands that you were exposed to live?
Obviously you had the Ragweeds and all those bands that I was exposed to, but it mostly came, the people we'd bring in were Caitlin Butts, Mike the Moonpies, Mike McClure. That we were surrounded by Oklahoma, which is a staple.
I gotta say this, and not to interrupt you, but that's kind of a cool, pure way to be introduced to music. Where it's mostly like the live thing.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
The raw, real songwriters, and it's not adulterated by the Nashville music machine or even the Texas country radio scene. So it seems like a very purist way to come by it. So that's fantastic. At what time? When did you start learning how to play an instrument or write a tune?
So. Well, by the time I could walk, I was playing drums, actually. I started playing drums, and I progressed to the point where I was so good I couldn't get any better without playing with a band. And turns out not a lot of bands want a 10-year-old drummer on the road with them full time. So,
there's some liability issues there.
I eventually, I kept playing, and I eventually came back from Steamboat Music Fest and picked up guitar one day and just started learning and playing one night. And, the next week I walked out in the living room and started playing Hotel California by the Eagles, and that's when I knew, man, this is really cool to do. I want to keep doing this.
Very cool.
I want to keep doing it.
Now, let's talk about Woderland. That's a current single out to Texas radio right now. Give me the backstory on that. Is that a ride, co-ride? Did you get it from somebody else? And give me just a quick intro what's going on there.
I wrote the song by myself. It's not a true story or anything. I like to point that out quickly. But I just sat down one day and wanted to write a song, and the song's about a girl who, loved her mom, but mom went with another man, and left her mom and dad, or the daughter and dad, with that kind of void feeling, and they came through, and she wanted to go find the guy and make him feel what they felt, and at the end of the song, she's in prison. So
these are pretty insightful and pretty deep lyrics for a young guy. Lyrically, where would you say you get your influence lyrically? Is there an influence there?
The Turnpike Troubadours and there's
you can lean to that storytelling kind of songs.
Yeah, there's so many amazing songwriters. It's hard to pin down a couple because there's hundreds and hundreds that go into it. B.J. Barnum, William Clark Green, Shane Smith, just a bunch of those.
Nice. I love how you're 15 and throwing out all the good names. That's good stuff.
Yeah,
Again, we've got Ty Smith here. He's in from Tulsa, Oklahoma, performing tonight here at Broadway 830. I'm going to kind of rush into this a little bit because we do have Uvalde Coyotes High School football coming up at 7 o'clock. It's a playoff game in Bernie against the Lampasas. I think they're the Bulldogs? I forget. But anyway, keep it on here at UvaldeRadio.net for all that playoff coverage. But again, we got Ty Smith here performing tonight at Broadway 830. You got a new, your older single, your first one was called Rocky Mountain Pines. I'm going to play this right now. We'll come back. You give us the backstory on that song, and then we'll do our final plugs and get you on stage, all right?
Absolutely. Thank you.
Again, this is Ty Smith, Rocky Mountain Pines on UvaldeRadio.net's Friday Night Live.
Wanna ride out of this one horse, no name town. Find a place out north of here to finally settle down. Cut back on the drinking and stand up on my 2 feet. Putting food on the table takes at least 50 hours a week. I've been stuck in this room and the roof is pouring rain. Taking so many pills that don't remember my name, and the pills won't stop my pain. I wanna get out of this town for a while. Picking and fishing, baby, you know that's more my style. If I get out of here, you know where I'd spend my time. Way up there in the mountains of the Rocky Mountain Pines. Rocky Mountain Pines. I wanna be up there where the snow falls on the ground. Be able to yell out there and nobody hears a sound. I want a guitar and a log cabin, that's where I'd spend my days. Even then I think it'd be hard to keep the lonely out of my veins. I wanna get out of this town for a while. We're picking and fishing, baby, you know that's more my style. If I get out of here, you know where I spend my time. Way up there in the mountains, Rocky Mountain Pines. Rocky Mountain Pines. Rocky Mountain Pines.
UvaldeRadio.net. This is Friday Night Live. That's Rocky Mountain Pines by Ty Smith. Young man, a 15-year-old gentleman out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, here in Uvalde for the very first time performing tonight at Friday Night Live. Downtown Uvalde, 100 East Main Street. If you're local, you know the place. Coming out for some delicious pizza, some beer, and a good time. So Ty's here. We got a couple of minutes left to wrap us up before we get into college football. Give us a backstory on Rocky Mountain Pines. Great, your voice, man. Sounds great on it. The production value is excellent. Tell us about the song.
So I got diagnosed with a rare condition in my foot, made it very painful to go throughout the day, and I had to have a couple surgeries on it, and I eventually got to a point where I couldn't deal with the pain anymore. No amount of pain pills they could give me would help or anything. So Rocky Mountain Pines is my song to kind of release all that into the world, and talks about wanting to be back in the mountains of Steamboat, Colorado. I wrote it early January. I still was working on it and finished it actually in Steamboat at the Music Fest.
Cool.
With a buddy of mine, Gannon Freeman. We were kind of tweaking it a little bit. But that's kind of the story behind it, yeah.
Fantastic song, man. So, again, we've got Ty Smith here. It sounds like, between, going to Steamboat when you were 10 and, writing songs already and recording at age 15 and already touring, doing regional tours of Texas, you've already accomplished so much at such a young age. Go ahead and take a minute to brag and give us some more highlights that you've already accomplished.
Man, I don't usually do this. I've gotten ever since I was young, I'd get on stage with William Clark Green and be the clown for Ringling Road. That was always
cool.
a career highlight, some would say.
Yeah.
Recently, I got to go out to Idaho, swap songs with a friend of mine named Shane Smith from Shane Smith and the Saints.
Yeah.
Just got done opening up for Kevin Fowler. And we got some big stuff coming up.
So there's so many 30, 40-year-olds out there that would kill to open up for Kevin Fowler.
Right,
so
yeah.
Kudos, man. You guys doing a great job. Quick shout-out. Talk about your dad. Your dad's here.
The best
he's
driver ever.
Got to be a great support system. I'm sure he's like manager, driver, roadie, everything, right?
Yeah, if you ever wonder who's driving all that, it's him. He does every single mile on the road. The last 3 months, we've probably done over, I want to say 12,000, 13,000 miles. So he's done every single mile of that.
So now, who's in charge overall? I know you're the talent. He's the muscle.
He's the muscle. He's the tour director. He's the manager, the booking guy. He does a little bit of everything.
Well, sounds like you got a good team going for you, man. So, Ty, give us all the social medias, websites, all that stuff before we wrap it up.
You guys can find us all at Ty Smith Music. We have our webpage out now, so you guys can go to that page and actually get merch online if you haven't been able to make it to a show yet. You guys don't, if we're not in your area, you guys can still help us out. Go get some new merch and go check it out. We all the social platforms we're on, all music streaming platforms we're on, Spotify, Apple Music, Pandora, all the stuff. If you want to go to my Instagram, it's a little different. There's another Ty Smith Music, so be careful. It'll be all one word, Tyler Smith Music, and it should pop up.
Well, fantastic. Again, Ty Smith Music on most of that, and then Tyler Smith Music
on the Instagram.
Yeah. Real quick, because I know you're going to be at the TCMA festivities. Uvalde Radio.net will be out there as well, too. Tell us real quick what you're doing this weekend in Fort Worth.
We'll be playing a show during the red carpet at the Rhinestone Saloon. Then tomorrow we will be at Pearl's doing their big street party tomorrow.
All right.
1 o'clock.
Thank you again for coming down to Uvalde. We're looking forward to seeing your set. And
awesome.
All right, we'll see you in Fort Worth after tonight, okay?
Thank you, guys.
That's going to wrap it up here Friday Night Live at Broadway 830. Coming out here to see some live music. And we're now going to take you to Uvalde Coyotes High School football playoff action live from Boerne, Texas at the Boerne ISD Stadium on UvaldeRadio.net.